the forehand to me is like one of the easiest shots to learn. It's also really good to have in your game because you can shape a lot of shots with it and all sorts of stuff. So yeah. So to start off with the grip, I like to hold it like this. It's a 2-finger stack grip, and there's there's more grips to have. Like you can hold it like this, you can fan out like that, and there's people that even hold it like one. But whatever works best for you is your grip, in my opinion. Whatever feels the best and whatever you get the cleanest and smoothest release. So I like it the 2-finger stack grip, and my thumb is like sitting on top of the plate, as well as my 2 bottom fingers is on the rim underneath like that. So yeah.
Where's your thumb in relation to the 2 underneath? Is it like sitting on top of your middle finger or index finger? Or?
I think it's just in the middle. Like my two fingers are right here, and then it's just like right above it. So yeah, that looks good.
Something that Dutch said in our last clinic, Dutch Napier came out and did our last one. He said you want to create a pinch point between that first bone and your index finger. So right in the middle, kind of like Alex said, and between the thumb and that over the disc. So that's kind of like your pinch point to create pressure and torque on the disc. Sorry, Alex.
Are you good? Also, the amount of pressure you put on it, I don't like a very loose grip, and you also don't want to like hold it too tight. You just want to hold it like nice and firm, which is, yeah. So not too loose and not too firm where you're just going to yank it or whatever. Yep.
These 2 are pretty much irrelevant, I'm guessing. It's wherever they're comfortable. If it's tucked, if it's next to the disc, it's that the magic is in the thumb and the first 2 fingers.
Pretty much. I guess I always just have it right here just to have more of a balance, I guess. If I have it like this, I feel like it's a little bit more loose. But having the bottom 2 right here, I feel like I have more of a firm grip. Any more questions? Okay, so now I'm gonna pretty much just go over the stance or like the run up, whatever. There's really not a whole lot to it. I don't know how you call it, like an egg step or whatever, but like that. But pretty much what that is, it's just a way of getting momentum. I mean, you can throw a forehand even just standing still. But yeah. Any questions about that?
What body part are you aiming with? Are you aiming with your front leg? Are you aiming with your left shoulder? Are you aiming with your right shoulder? Because that's where I'm like, I have trouble. I don't know what of me I'm aiming with to what.
So I'm pretty much like, I always want to aim to the left side of the basket. Let it just, because it's natural. A disc is going to naturally just going to hyzer. So I'm pretty much squared with my target, but like to the left of it. And like my entire body is pretty much square with it. But right when I'm doing this, that's when all my body is like facing this way. But my hips are still pretty much in line with what I'm throwing to. And that's when I just pull through and then, yeah.
Mainly your hips.
I was going to say something they talk about in baseball, which is very similar throw, is opening your hips to the target as you're releasing. So like Alex said, you're coming forward, you're opening those hips up as you come forward so that your hips are
square. Okay.
See, another important thing, like when you're doing the run up pretty much is like, as you're planting, you want to make sure all your weight that you're transferring is like into your plant foot, which your plant foot is and your hips are already like in line with your target. But let's say if I'm throwing a forehand and obviously I'm in line with everything, if all my weight is not transferred to my foot, let's say if it's like I'm more on this, leaning more towards this side, or I'm pulling over like this, that's going to throw you off a lot. So, but just making sure all your weight is planted into this foot and you're driving it straight towards where you're aiming for.
Like a backhand, your in step is where you want all your weight on the end, you want all your weight on the front.
Yeah, that's a good way to getting distance too. It's like, it's almost like pushing yourself, because right when you're planning, you just want everything driving into your foot right where you're aiming for. Pretty much, I want to be pretty close. I don't want to be like out here, because I was just going to throw me way off, and I also don't want to be too pinched off. Yeah, just nice and comfortable, and like just in line like this. You want to be a little bit close, have a little bit of space, and yeah. Does that help? Or you don't have to go too far back. Like obviously you don't want to do this, or you don't want to be too enclosed, but just comfortable like that. It's like a wind up pretty much. That's where I'm getting a lot of my momentum and a lot of my speed. But yeah, just like maybe like right around here, whatever feels the most comfortable. Now that you have everything, which is the grip and pretty much like your run up and as well as the wind up and all of that, now it's like just putting it all together. The best way you can do that is like have a wide open field and you just practice it pretty much. And whatever, so like say, you know, you can be filming yourself throwing and you can find like, look at what is not working, I guess, like whatever your flaws are, you can see what you're doing wrong. That's very far, but
we can see where your body's aligned and that kind of stuff.
yeah, I'll aim it to the left and let it just hopefully hyzer in line with the basket. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty straight. That's better. Oh, that's really good. Now, the one thing I will say on that one is that everything looked really good, actually. But I see that you came up a little bit, which is why it was like stalling out high. Because you kind of came, instead of like just coming through straight and low, you kind of just stood up a little bit, which caused it to pull it high.
So I went from like here to here.
Yes.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you came out of your bend, you went this way.
That's
you
what-
stood
yeah,
up
that-
and through.
That's
Mhm.
what I have to.
Try to stay low and bring that disc out on the plane you wanted to release on. Much better.
Yep. There was a little wobble on it, but I mean, that's normal. A little wobble's fine.
And you'll get that wobble out as you increase your speed over.
It could be anything. Especially in the grip, it could be like maybe your the pressure on your grip, or maybe just how you're holding it. But just whatever you. I don't know. Just a good whatever feels the most firm. Like you don't want to just grip on too much, but you also don't want to let it loose. You just want a nice firm grip.
Hey. Yeah,
Yeah, that was really good.
very good. A lot of people do. A lot of people get to the point and they raise their head up to where they're going, and their body comes up to it.
Not too bad.
I forgot to stretch.
First one out of the way. That wasn't too bad either. I think it was just a flippy disc.
Oh, right. Yeah, that one was a little more flippier.
Mm-hmm.
Anything?
I mean, again, you kind of. I mean, it was a flippy disc, but kind of maybe the slightest bit of like roll your wrist, but just trying to like make sure you keep it flat. And if anything, a hyzer release is better than an anti release.
Okay.
Especially if you're on a flippy disc, because it'll just flip up instead of just hold the turn. So.
Any notes before I rip my last one?
On that one, on all of those, well, the first one you rolled your wrist a bit.
Yeah.
And then I know definitely on the last one too, where you kind of just not only rolled your wrist, which caused a lot of wobble, but it also kind of stood up again.
Yeah.
So make sure on that one, like as you're planting, you want to stay low and make sure that your wrist is like pretty much palm up almost, and then just drive it straight forward.
For sure. And I see like you're really compact. I'm trying to like not be too, aggressive with anything. I just want to focus on like the release, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a bit better. But yeah, again, it's just a lot of practice. You're not going to figure it out like at the very moment. It just takes a lot of just repetition and figuring it out. And you also want to take everything like one step at a time, because if you try all these sorts of things all at once, and something will go wrong. And just working on one thing at a time is the best. So, okay. So, on this next one, see, on your forehand, you're definitely coming up high and on a big ante. Just again, just try to just keep it flat and level. Yeah. Yes, just try to keep it flat. That was better.
Much better. Thank you. Going high too on that one, aren't I?
Yeah. So on this one, again, just try to just keep the disc flat in your hand, and as you're pulling through, just make sure you just keep everything level and flat.
I can't. I can't
Do that.
the
That's like if it's a standstill, just throw that. That was really good.
Where does the extra distance come from? Just practice.
Yeah, a lot of practice and yeah.
Drop your shoulder. That's really what happened there. When you came through, you dropped all your momentum and everything just buckled under and just fluttered out.
Because your mind's trying to think of 1,000 different things you don't normally do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was really good. I guess really the distance is just like obviously making sure you get it on the right nose angle. Like those are a little bit nose up, but like again, as you're planting, you want literally all of your weight like into your plant foot, just so that as you're releasing and you're planting, all the power is just going to go in the disc.
And as you get more comfortable and the wrist gets stronger and the snap gets a little quicker.
Yep.
You're still creating the whip effect. It all starts from the toe for you, and it works itself all the way up through it.
Okay, so on this last one, just on those two, you kind of just pulled over on your wrist a little bit. Just try to keep that wrist flat. Everything else looks pretty solid though.
Where the angle of the disc is hanging lower, you think throw a hyzer on this one.
Much better.
Yeah, like that.
I'll work. Everyone, this is the last time I'll go over. Don't want to keep y'all too long, but this is pretty much just the forehand approach. So everything we talked about over there, you can just translate it like right here on the approach shot, but it requires less effort. For a forehand approach shots, I just throw a standstill, and again, my hips is in line with what I'm aiming for. And usually on these approach shots, I just try to just throw a little hyzer and let it just dive under the basket. So pretty much all the same fundamentals. And yeah, I'll just throw a couple. And obviously those were a bit nose up. I like the nose up release on a forehand approach shot because it just comes in the basket slower. And yeah, would y'all like to throw a few forehand approach shots and I'll go over them as well? Go in. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to throw nose up on a forehand approach shot, but maybe those two could just aim a little bit more left. That's about it. There we go. A little high, but the first one's really good.
Jump squirrel.
Oh, let me get my bag out the way. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're not used to that.
There we go.
Oh, that was a terrible tree.
General.
Go in. That was really good. Nice shot.
Let's come back.
That'll work.
5-foot second putt.
Nice. All those are very solid. Any more questions about any forehands in particular, forehand approach shots? All right. So thank y'all for coming out. I didn't do the greatest job explaining things, but hopefully y'all learned at least something good. And yeah, thank y'all. So, yep.